Chapter 2. Early Journeys. The childhood of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was soon followed by journeys that carried him far beyond Salzburg. His father, Leopold Mozart, was determined to show the world the extraordinary gifts of his son and daughter. Thus began a series of travels which were to shape the boy's genius and establish his reputation. In 1762, when Wolfgang was only 6 years old, Leopold took him and his sister Maria Anna, called Nannerl, to Munich. There they performed before the Elector of Bavaria. The children astonished the court with their skill, Wolfgang playing with confidence and invention, Nannerl with grace and precision. Their fame began to spread. Later that same year, the family traveled to Vienna. At the court of the Empress Maria Theresa, Wolfgang played before the imperial family. His charm and talent delighted all who heard him. He was able not only to perform with brilliance, but also to improvise on themes given to him, creating music of beauty and originality on the spot. The Empress herself expressed admiration for the boy, and the Mozarts were received with honor. Encouraged by these successes, Leopold planned a greater journey. In 1763, the family set out on a tour that would last more than 3 years. They traveled through Germany, Belgium, France, and England, performing in the principal cities and courts of Europe. Everywhere Wolfgang's genius was recognized. He played before princes and kings, and his name became known far and wide. In Paris, he performed at the court of Louis XV. In London, he played before King George III and Queen Charlotte. The Queen was so impressed that she gave him themes to improvise upon, which he did with astonishing skill. During their stay in London, Wolfgang composed several sonatas dedicated to the Queen, showing not only his talent, but also his ability to adapt to the expectations of noble patrons. The journeys were not easy. The family endured long travels, poor lodgings, and illness. Yet Leopold remained steadfast, convinced that the sacrifices were necessary to secure the future of his son. He carefully preserved Wolfgang's compositions, encouraged his progress, and presented him as a marvel of nature and art. These early journeys exposed Wolfgang to the greatest music of Europe. He heard the works of Johann Christian Bach in London, whose influence was profound upon him. He absorbed the styles of French and Italian composers, learning from each and blending them into his own voice. His genius was nourished by this contact with diverse traditions. By the time the family returned to Salzburg in 1766, Wolfgang was no longer merely a child prodigy. He had become a composer of real substance, with works that showed mastery of form and invention. The journeys had broadened his mind, deepened his art, and prepared him for the greater achievements that lay ahead. Thus, the early journeys of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart were not only displays of youthful talent. They were the foundation of his development as an artist, giving him the experience, knowledge, and confidence that would sustain him throughout his life.